How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Niagara Hockey Lowdown right here on the Armchair GM's Sports Network, your source for everything NHL, NFL, NBA, everything like that on the Sports Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Armchair GM Pod. You can follow myself at JustKyle51 and my co-host at Caputs with a Z 13. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host of the Niagara Hockey Lowdown. My name is Kyle. I'm joined always by my co-host. His name is Brandon. What's going on, Brandon, today?
Who?
Brandon? Who?
Like that Josh Levo guy. I don't know who I am.
Who? Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of this podcast. One of the variations of podcasts on the Armchair GM Sports Network. So if you are new to the network, this is a sports network that dedicates itself to having a bunch of variety of podcasts in the world of sports, such as the NHL, the OHL. With this podcast, we do a bunch of Team Canada stuff as well. We have our dedicated NHL podcast called the Under Review podcast. We have the NBA one, Ball in the Six, the NFL one, Straight to the Extra Point, and potentially future podcasts in the future on the way. So you're going to want to follow the Sports Network. Make sure you are following on Twitter, liking on Facebook. All links are located down in the description box of the YouTube portion of this podcast. And speaking of, we are located on YouTube. And make sure you're subscribing to YouTube if you want to take us on the go. We are available to listen to on Spotify, Spreaker, and iTunes. So I'm trying to get us on Google Play Music. It's a little bit harder than all the other platforms for whatever reason, but eventually we'll get there. But we are officially on iTunes and Spotify and Spreaker, which is a great podcast app to download on all app stores and take with you. It's a really good podcast app. I highly suggest it. Or if you're in the works of wanting to start your own podcast, I do suggest checking out Spreaker.com. Very, very good platform. But welcome to episode 2 of the Niagara Hockey Lowdown. We focus mainly on the hockey teams around this region, a.k.a. the Maple Leafs, the Sabres, the Niagara Icedogs, and we tie in some Team Canada stuff with this podcast as well. So, Brandon, how's it going, man? It's been a while since we got on the podcast in. A little bit busy the last couple of weeks, but again, guys, just bear with us when we get the Sports Network on the go. More content will be flying at your way.
It will be. Mm-hmm. But, we got some interesting news to talk about today for all these 4 different groups of teams here.
Yeah, we got everything this episode. And
we do.
I'm currently working on a future episode, hoping maybe by the next one, myself and Brandon will be interviewing a member of the Niagara Icedogs, not a player, but he works behind the scenes. Really good friend of ours, Nino Baricus. He'll be coming on and talking Ice Dogs with us very soon for a special interview episode. So,
and we're getting closer to the NHL draft, so that should be interesting. Free agency.
Mm-hmm. He's actually a Sabres fan, so you guys can bond over that when we have that episode.
Or cry together.
Or cry.
Whatever.
Well, you might as well just jump into it. Get into the Sabres stuff. So
we got some interesting stuff.
We got news for each of the teams today for Ice Dogs, Leafs, Sabres, and Team Canada, especially today, not even a couple hours ago, fresh off Team Canada. Mm-hmm. But we'll bang it out with we start off with your boy the Sabres. We got some Sabres music now. There's a Sabres dance playing for you.
Gotta love it when they come out to this classic Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
So I made a poll on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. If you checked it out, if you voted, thank you. But up and coming the next year is the 50th anniversary of the Buffalo Sabres, 50 years of losing. And
hey, I mean, you made the Stanley Cup final that one year. That's a good thing to bond over.
Yeah,
right?
Niagara Falls Review put a picture of that in the paper like 2 weeks ago. It was like, you still have to kill us over that. Anyways. So they're coming out with a new alternate jersey, and they already released the patch for the jersey. And I mean, the patch looks kind of cool. A lot of the fans were in uproar because it was the navy blue, and I'm thinking it's like, okay, guys, it's just a patch, so like let's relax for a second here. Maybe, just because the patch is navy doesn't mean the whole jersey is going to be navy. So that's what the patch looks like.
Oh, I like that.
Yep.
Like so the swords going through the 5 and the 0 there. That's cool.
So that's what the patch is going to look like. But then there's all debate on Twitter about what jersey would you like to see them bring back. And I put up the poll for the classic royal blue that we used from the point of our franchise's start in 1970 all the way to 1996. And then we used as an alternate in 2007. the good old royal blue. And then the one that is nostalgic to most people our age, which is the black and red Sabres jersey, which we grew up watching. And when they were really good and went to the Cup final, they were wearing that jersey. So that one was worn from 96 to 2006.
Okay.
And for the Twitter poll on Facebook, we actually had 52% wanted the black and red.
Oh, I know that's a favorite from what I gather from people like not fans of the team, but from other fan bases, they actually like that red, white, and I mean, I like that. I love that logo. That when I think Buffalo Sabres, and like when I first started following and watching hockey, I think of that logo instantly, and the whole was it the odd, and Stu Barnes. I get the Stu Barnes,
Dominator,
Miroslav Shatan, those kind of days with that logo. So, and to clarify, it's not the red alternate.
No,
it's not the makeshift blue and gold one that they put red and black. How do you feel about that one?
I don't really like that one.
No, not a fan.
Yeah, it's like the two swords of like this one right here. That one.
Yes, that one.
I had to clarify that on the Facebook page just so you knew what I was talking about. But yeah, and somebody cropped Jack Eichel in this jersey, and I'm like, oh, this looks so good. But yeah, people of our generation would probably say that's more nostalgic. People of older generations would obviously say the royal blue is. I mean, the royal blue is iconic with Buffalo, the Sabres, and the Bills.
So they're bringing back a jersey for sure. They're not gonna make a brand new one like they tried a couple of years ago, and
they might actually.
It looked like a Walmart exclusive jersey.
Those good old Walmart exclusive. Well, people want them to go back to a variation of one of these jerseys, but I have a feeling that they're not going to give us what we want because they never do. Some people were saying they'd like to see the royal blue on the black and red jersey logo. I don't know how that would look.
Okay, I know. I've seen a picture of this. It was on Google. It was literally that red and black logo, but it was infused with the current colors.
Yeah, with the royal blue.
It was interesting. Like it was. I didn't know how to feel about it. I was like, oh, like I'm not even a fan of the team, and I was like, half cringing.
I would love to see them incorporate something like that, like a 50th anniversary jersey. Like that's got to be something special, like that's got to be, nostalgic to people who grew up watching the team and have been around for the whole 50 years. I haven't.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if you incorporate something of the past into the jersey, I think that's a must for something this special, 50th year anniversary. The 40-year anniversary jersey I have, which is nice, but it's I don't know.
So I did find the picture. So that's what it looked like.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? I'm cringing going,
Yeah. So whatever the jersey is, it's going to have that patch on it that I just showed you off camera. But so yeah, on Facebook they were pretty much split down the middle with a 52 to 48% for the black and red.
Okay.
But on Facebook, it was actually 67% for the royal blue.
Ooh.
So 67 to 33, and then 52 to 48 for Facebook. So it's pretty much split down the middle between which one we'd like back. I don't care. I just want to see one of these two jerseys. I don't care if it's the royal blue or the black and red. I'd just be happy if it was either one. Just, make it an iconic 50th anniversary jersey. Like what the Leafs did for their centennial jersey. It's got to be something like that.
Yeah. Make sure you also focus on winning, because that's a big thing, in the NHL. You kind of want to win and make the Stanley Cup playoffs rather than finish and get a lottery pick every year. I mean, you can only take so many before you're like, okay, when are we actually going to do something?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're not the only team that does that. Like, let's be real here. And we already know the one other Canadian team here that Buffalo's not Canadian, but the other Canadian team here that, that has a lot of lottery wins and 0 playoff wins.
And they always send out these surveys saying like what improvements would you like to see in the arena, and like everybody on Buffalo radio just like the hockey team. Forget about improvements to the arena. How about improving the team?
There's nothing wrong with the arena. We've been there a million times, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
arena.
I know, but they're always trying to make it a better experience. It's like, well, maybe if the team was better, it'd be a better experience. How about that? Yeah. How about the Bagulas focus on getting the team better and knowing the right person to bring in? Which Ralph Kruger, at first, like I said on the last episode, He's been hot. Well, actually, it was the Under Review
Yes.
podcast. So this is the first time we're talking about it on Niagara Hockey Lowdown. But Ralph Kruger is the new head coach of the Sabres, and I've heard nothing but good things about what he's going to bring to the team. Everybody's been saying that it's a great hire, and I've heard nothing but positive things about Ralph Kruger and what he's going to bring. So that's that, and apparently, he's going to try and improve Rasmus Ristolainen's game, which again. The guy shouldn't be playing top pair 27 minutes a game. That's also an issue because he's never played or had the quality of talent on the team where he can slide into the second line defense role, which made him minus 42 this year.
He can play forward with that crazy dangle he pulled off earlier in the year and Selly.
Oh, on Brent Burns?
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, if they just get better players, they can put these players in better roles that they're supposed to be slotted in instead of putting them in top pair roles, which they're not going to succeed in. So I think Ristolainen's going to have a better year. I actually hope we don't trade him because I want to see what Ralph Kruger can do with him, and if we bring in another defenseman, or if we just put Montour and Dahlin on the first pair and slide Ristolainen to that second pair, that's better off for him. He should be playing 20 to 22 minutes, not 27, 28 minutes a game. That's what screws him up.
And you guys are, what, number 5 in the draft?
8.
Well, I mean, your first round pick's either going to play this year or one more year, because the guy you're projected to take from the U.S. development team, from what I've read, is he's good, and he's good enough to be in the top 10. They're just, from what all scouts are saying, they're just unsure if he'll be the type of player to start next year. Everyone in the top 5, 100% is starting next year. They said outside of that, it's very tough. And knowing the Sabres, they like to take their time with some of the players, unless you're Rasmus Dahlin, then you're starting right away. But I speak of players like Casey Middlestad on the Sabres, who took a year before he made the team.
Yeah, he came up in the last 5 games of the season for whatever reason and played. But yeah, essentially he missed a whole year. Yeah. Same with Reinhart, got sent back to junior his first year as well.
And Middlestad's a stud, so this could be another type of Middlestat player for you guys. And from what the scouts are saying, he could pair very, very nicely with Jack Eichel on the wing. So, and that's something Jack Eichel needs. He needs 2 solid wingers to accompany him.
Well, Jeff Skinner, getting him re-signed is a must right now.
Yeah, that's probably priority number 1 right now.
Because Jeff Skinner is just so valuable to Jack Eichel as your captain. Yeah. He needs his winger, his guy. I don't care if you got to pay him $9 million. He's that valuable to the team where you need to pay him that money. And
I imagine if he doesn't want to be here, they would be moving him at the draft. They'd be moving him to a team that could sign him. So
yeah, but you wouldn't get much compensation back.
No, probably not,
because he's a UFA.
Yeah.
But they're projecting to take another kid from the U.S. development camp, and I'm just like, what are we gonna have, like the entire Team USA on our forward group there?
Can you imagine a sign-in trade with Jeff Skinner? Like, you could probably get enough back if it's a sign-in trade. Like, you talk to another team and you ask them, okay, well, if you guys are interested in Skinner, if he doesn't sign here, what would you guys sign him for? You sign him to that contract, or you're the snake team and sign him for an above contract and say, well, that's too bad. That's where you're going to get him at.
I don't even want to go down that road. I just wanted them to sign him. Like, it just there's one thing Jason Botterill has to do. It's re-sign Jeff Skinner, because the guy had an amazing year this year, scored 40 goals for the team. And again, you need to give Jack Eichel players like Jeff Skinner to play with, or else he's never going to succeed anywhere. Without getting, we need to improve the top 6 as a must. Like getting better up and down the lineup. Like, no scoring from the 4th line whatsoever this year. Like, just a bunch of scrubs down there with Larson and Gergensen. Like, good defensive forwards, but could never score anything. They would not put up any points. Losing Ryan O'Reilly ended up being huge for the team. I mean, look what Ryan O'Reilly's doing now. I mean, he's in the Stanley Cup Finals now. But losing that second-line center was huge, and it left a huge hole that Casey Middlestad wasn't ready to fill yet. And it was rough besides that top line this year.
Right.
Which, besides Reinhart took a step this year, and Eichel has improved every year. But other than those two, it was a pretty rough year on forward. Brandon Montour is going to be out 6 weeks with his MCL sprain. that he got at the
World 6
World
weeks.
Championships.
Damn. He's going to be there in time for training. Damn.
I hope so. But, yeah, he will no longer be competing for Canada in the World Championships. But luckily, or hopefully, he will be ready for training camp. I hope so. I mean,
could be like us, and we're missing one of our top defensemen and top forwards for the first 6 months of the season, or first 3 months of the season. Like, Dermott and Hyman are not going to be at training camp. They're both. I know Hyman's done until the end of the year, and Dermott's going to come back near the second or third month. So those are two big losses for the Leafs right there. But yeah, Montour is hopefully back for you guys by training camp. I imagine he is.
Lawrence Pilot's also out 4 to 6 months with to have surgery, as well as Zach Bogosian. Shocker there. He's going to be out. I didn't
know who the first person was.
Lawrence Pilot.
Who is that?
He is a European defenseman they signed last year.
Oh, that guy.
He played this year. Shut up. But yes, Lawrence Pilot. He played for Roch most of the year. Came up, played for the Sabres for a few games.
Lawrence Pilot.
Yep, Pilut.
Okay,
and Zach Bogosian has to fill his quota on the injured reserve list.
So. Is he coming over to Stefan Robida Island?
No, he's just always permanently on the IR and then comes off for a couple games and goes back on. So that's Bogo for you.
Just Robida Island him. Save some cap room.
Yeah, so nothing much going on with Buffalo besides the jersey talk, the nostalgic jersey talk, along with getting Jeff Skinner signed.
Sharpen them swords.
And the Montour injury, and the Ralph Kruger signing as the head coach. So that's basically all that's going on in Saberland right now.
Yay!
I can't wait till we get to the Leaf part.
I might as well jump into it now. Let's go Leafs! Yes, love this theme. Brandon's like face in hand right now. He hates this theme, but you're making my dreams come true, dude. Dude, this is our Chelsea dagger. This right here is our Chelsea dagger. This annoys teams every time they come into our building and we score a bunch of goals. Like, this is the point of that theme and that goal song. Oh, I love it though. I mean, they didn't.
Neat.
We got the haters. Oh, they make your dreams come true this year. The first round exit. Sure. I'll take it from the teams that make the playoffs, but don't be a fan of a team that doesn't make the playoffs and say that chirp.
The Habs?
Go away. Go back in the cave where you came from. Yeah, Hab fans. You guys are doing so great, eh? Best goalie in the world but can't make the playoffs.
So
how does it feel?
So your Leafs, they lost an assistant coach today.
Yeah, DJ Smith. We knew this was happening. This is a big shocker to a lot of people for some reason, but we knew this guy was as good as gone. I knew he was gone, and he did get interviewed by the Ottawa Senators, and he took the job. So the Senators said yes on DJ Smith. The guy's a really good assistant coach. I don't know how I feel about him running your power play, though. Hopefully he has someone better than himself, because he was shit running our power play for most of the second part of the season. And in the playoffs against the Boston Bruins, he was literally the quarterback of that power play. Horrible. There's non-existent, and they never changed it. And I know most of it had to do with Mike Babcock, but it could. Now that he's head coach and he has more say in it, right? Maybe he can do something with Ottawa. But I hope he knows that he won't be doing that right off the bat in Ottawa, because they got nobody. Unless Duchesne comes back, and that'd be hilarious.
No,
I would. Columbus fans would be so mad if Duchesne just walked and went back to Ottawa.
I mean, Columbus is losing everybody, so it's not like it's going to be a shock to them.
So, DJ Smith, it was nice to know you. Good luck with coaching the Ottawa Senators. That's going to be something. Hopefully they don't trade their first round pick next year when they finish in the bottom, because for you Ottawa fans out there, I hope you know this is not the start of you guys making the playoffs next year. You guys are in for the long run with this rebuild. Like, they tore down. So
yeah, and Eugene Melnick said he's not spending till 2022 or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you guys are in for the long run. You're going to see a lot of kids play, a lot of cap-friendly players making the team for 1 year or 2 years, a lot of leagueman people. So you're in,
or taking on bad contracts to get to the cap floor.
It's going to happen. You know what? How about they just take Nathan Horton off our books?
I heard a rumor today that Vegas is trying to get rid of Colin Miller.
So the Leafs were actually in talks with that. They want him because his contract is beautiful.
It is, but but I think Vegas is going to want somebody to take on Clarkson
because their projected cap is 0 right now, so they're in trouble. Like our projected cap's $8 million, theirs is 0.
So yeah, maybe Ottawa can take on David Clarkson and get Colin Miller. I don't know, but
I hope not. I hope it's a 3-way trade. I really want Colin Miller. He would help with the defense problem we're going to have, because I can guarantee you right now the Leafs are going to be gunning for either a defenseman on a 1-year contract or something with a really good contract, because now that Dermott's out, and I know we're going to be bringing up some defense, but Calle Rosen's for sure going to make the team. Sandin, it's going to depend how he does in camp. I know he's had a really good year this year at the Marlies, but they might want to take their time with him. And Liljegren is being said to probably making the team as a depth role, so maybe not always starting, but being that extra forward that the Leafs like bringing on all the time. Yeah, the extra D.
So you can move. You can go back to the Marlies, come up for a game.
Yeah. So we're gonna need someone in the top 4 though, because Gardner's gone, Hainsey's gone. You're left with Morgan Riley and stop it. He's gone. You're left with Morgan Riley and Nikita Zaitsev. That's it. So, yeah, you're going to need some people. And, Jake Muzzin. So you're going to need someone for that 4th spot. I highly suggest that they trade Nikita Zaitsev if someone's willing to take that contract, a.k.a. maybe the Ottawa Senators. There's some cap room for you, and there's a nice defenseman. That could be something.
What, are they going to do the same Dion Phaneuf all over again?
No. Oh, well, maybe. Yeah, but we're not going to eat anything. They're going to take it all. If it's Ottawa, they're going to take that all. There's no eating of contract there.
They want it.
But, yeah, as for DJ Smith, good for them. And then they quickly replaced him with, I almost said Scott McFarland, but that's the guy for Family Guy.
Paul McFarland. I guess he was a former coaching staff of the Florida Panthers. It looks like Daniel Paye.
And the Maple Leafs also announced that assistant coach Jim Hiller has been granted permission to explore opportunities. So they're getting rid of Hiller and DJ Smith, who were leaders of the PK and the power play. So our power play is going to have a fresh look next year. I don't even know. I don't even think Florida was good on the power play, so that's why I'm confused about. Unless Mike Babcock is taking full duties of the power play.
I mean, Florida, they lost Trocheck for half the year, so that also didn't help. Barkov played a lot better when Trocheck came back, and everybody played better.
Yeah, he was brought. It says McFarland was let go in April after Florida failed to make the playoffs. He is expected to fill Hiller's post, working closely with forwards and the power play. So he's going to be working with the power play.
Well, I think DJ Smith probably should have been fired anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so Smith was the penalty kill. That was my fault. I totally botched that. I thought it was Smith with the power play. It was Hiller with the power play. Oh. I always get that confused. That's a big thing for me that I always get confused, and I always say the reverse. So they're finding someone to replace Smith for the defense and penalty kill. Prior to his first NHL job, McFarland actually was the head coach of the Kingston Frontenacs from 2014 to 2017, collecting a record of 111, 71, and 22, reaching the postseason in all 3 campaigns before that. McFarland was an assistant coach on DJ Smith's staff with the Oshawa Generals. So interesting lineage there and some short ties to the Leafs organization, I guess. Another person that the Leafs bring home, I guess. I don't know. Like, it always seems like there's always a higher player signing it's always like they're coming home to Toronto. Right? Like, this is where they're from, this area, or they did stuff in this area, so now you know.
Oh, it's all roses and,
not really
rainbows around here.
It might be according to the media, but in reality the Leafs need to get over the first round hump, because I hate losing in the first round for the last.
You just hate losing to Boston.
That too.
They did lose to Washington that one year, but that was nobody expected them to win that.
Boston owns us. It's going to be tough.
As hard as it is for you to say that.
Boston owns us. So.
The Leafs gotta. Do we want to talk about their cap issue again?
Their projected cap space is 8.8 or 8.7, whatever it is. And they're going to have to sign. Okay, the big one is obviously Mitch Marner, who's going to be making money. It's just right now.
They got to move Marleau this summer.
Yeah,
they got to move him somewhere.
It's one of Marleau. The Marleau one is the one I don't know. I hope they're thinking about moving Nikita Zaitsev. That would help. Connor Brown is probably getting explored as well. That's an expensive fourth liner right there at 2.1. So right there, you're going to lose, 4.5 if you got rid of Zaitsev and 2.1 with Connor Brown. There's an extra, almost $7 million.
But if there's 6.25 with Marleau, that's all.
Yeah.
It just sticks out to me like a sore thumb. Like, if the Leafs got to give up a good asset, do it. Like,
it's going to happen. Like, I imagine it would. It's tough. I would imagine we are going to make the move first and then announce the signing of Mitch Marner.
Because, yeah, they can sign them and they can have all three of them, but it's just like, what is their depth going to look like?
It's going to be all league men and rookies, and it's what we're going to have to do. Like, it's not what every team does exactly to that point, but you look at what Chicago's doing. They have their top guys. They have Kane and Taves making $10 million each. Then they have their other players who are making, like Duncan Keith and Seabrook all making expensive contracts, right? So there's 4 right off the bat. I'm not saying it's the same as the Leafs, but look what they're doing. So they have their guys that make money, and look who the rest are on the team. All leaguemen guys and rookies and people who are making minimal contract money. So that helps them.
I mean, I think the Leafs have more top end people than Blackhawks do. I mean, they have Matthews, Tavares, Nylander, Marner. I
hate including Nylander in this contract. I know 6.9 is nothing anymore, and especially with the cap going up, it's going to be nothing. I know at this point in time it sucks, but that's a hump that you just kind of have to wait to get over. It's going to be fine. It's going to clear itself once the cap goes up and this contract stuff is resolved. But
2 centers making over $11 million, that's tough.
Yeah.
And then Marner's going to... He probably wants that money. He's probably not going to get it from the Leafs, so he's going to have to take less than that. They're not paying him $11 million.
So besides Kane and Taves, who are making 10.5 each, you got Brendan Saad at 6, Artem Anisimov at 4.5. Everyone else makes $1 million and less in that forward core. So
I mean, can the Leafs do that though? I mean, they have Kadri, they have Brown, they have Hyman. Yeah. Those guys are all making money.
Well, Brown's gone. I'm telling you right now, that's way too of an expensive of a fourth liner. He's gone.
Well, he probably could be a top 9 forward on most teams.
So he's gone.
I could see somebody
Connor Brown
wanting
lovers.
him.
He's gone.
I could see somebody wanting him.
Yeah.
Maybe they have to give Connor Brown away for free for somebody to take Marlowe's contract.
It's true.
Or they have to give up a draft pick or another young rookie that is not going to make the team, like a Braco or something like that. Because
it's gonna happen.
And then they got to get they can't sit there and let a team offer sheet Marner, because then if they offer him $14 million, then the Leafs are screwed.
Yeah, but I can't see a team offering $14 million. Who out there has the money to do that for one player?
Islanders?
No, that's not happening.
Grandpa Lou.
Let's stay on planet Earth right now, everybody. But other than that, this is the Leafs coaching staff changing. That's one thing to keep an eye on. But that's it for the Leafs. And
that's it.
Yeah, there's nothing else. It's quiet in Leafland right now.
Wow, for once it's quiet.
Because I think the Raptors are getting all the attention.
Oh, it's beautiful not having any Leafs talk around here, isn't it?
And for now, once the draft comes up, it gets closer. We're gonna have a lot of more talks coming up. So
the calm before the storm.
Yeah. So right now, just the coaching change and just the I guess if you want to call it the generalization of what the cap is going to look like after Marner gets signed. It's going to be tough. We're going to be some crunching of numbers here, and it's going to be a very interesting route. But I'm for it. With the cap going up, I'm for the Leafs taking a chance with this core of group of players making that much money, because A, they're all worth that much, and B, maybe they'll prove that maybe you can win a cup with that amount of players making that much money. Maybe they can be the first team to do it. And I believe they probably will. They're literally so close from completing the puzzle to go forward into the playoffs. Obviously, the Bruins have somehow figured that out. Controversial reasons aside. And other teams have obviously figured that out. So the Leafs are almost completed the puzzle. They're getting there. It'll take some time. Obviously, yes, there'll be some cap issues, and I truly believe they know what they're doing. It's not like this is a bunch of amateurs back there and just playing shell and just throwing money around like they don't know what they're doing. Kyle Dubas and his capologist are majors in capology. They studied this shit. They know they're good with numbers. You don't think that they've planned this ahead, or they're just going, they walk in the office, how about we throw this guy this much money? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, let's do it.
So he's not John Ferguson Jr.?
Yeah, exactly. They know what they're doing. We can all sit here and be, pun intended, armchair GMs and say that we know how to run the team better than they do, but A, they're professionals. They get paid the big bucks to do it, and B, they know a lot more than we do. A lot more than we do.
And I'm looking at a team like Pittsburgh. Like they've always been in cap issues too, and able to win cups with, the cap was different back then. But back when Malkin and Crosby were making $8 and $9 million, that was a lot
back then.
They made it work.
That's what people seem to forget too. Like people say, "Oh well, how can you pay Nylander 6.8, or how can you pay Marner over $10 million when Kucherov was making 9 something?" I'm like, he also signed the contract a few years ago when the cap was, they didn't know he was going to have 120 points this year. When he signed that contract, they knew he was a good player, but they didn't know he was going to be this elite. Mm-hmm. There was a potential chance he was going to be, and the team took a chance by maybe just offering him this much, and then Kucherov took it. They should be thankful that Kucherov said, no, I want more. I want this more, because I know I'm going to be that generational player.
I mean, that team's going to be in a lot of trouble, but we can get into that in another episode. But
people just forget that the cap goes up, and they just forget that, look what this person signed back 5 years ago. It's like, how can you make that argument? Like it's no, it's different. That's not how it works.
It's like the quarterbacks in the NFL. They keep upping each other for the most highest paid because it just keeps going up.
So then the NHL salary cap will go up. Like it's projected to go up to a good amount next year, which will help the Leafs a little bit, not a lot. But the year after, when Seattle finally comes into the league, it's going to go up even more. So the cap is going up, people.
Can Seattle take Marleau like a year in advance and have him like sit there?
Maybe that'd be funny. That'd be interesting. But that's it for the Leafs. So move on here to I guess we went to the Niagara Icedogs. And a bit of an interesting talks with the Ice Dogs, obviously, with the recent controversy here. And, I guess...
possible sale.
Possible sale. I mean, we kind of briefly touched base with it last episode. But, of course, shortly after we recorded that episode, news came out about the sale of the Ice Dogs. And we actually have a statement here from the Burks.
Yep.
About the potential sale, and I have Brandon read it here.
It says Niagara versus every rumor.
Oh,
is the
a play on take with their T-shirt.
Oof. Dear Ice Dog fans, as you may have heard, there are many rumors about the future of the Niagara Ice Dogs. As has been the case for a number of years, it's recently become a popular narrative that the Ice Dogs are up for sale, and that the Ice Dogs have been sold. But nothing could be farther from the truth. And as an organization, we want to clarify once and for all, we are not leaving. Make no mistake about it, the rumors swirling this week have been tough to swallow, as our passion and commitment to this region have remained unwavering since the Ice Dogs' inaugural season. Like you, we have been frustrated. But we want you to know that we are committed to our region, which has supported and continues to support the Ice Dogs season after season. We are committed to thousands of fans who continue to make the Meridian Center an exciting place to play each and every night. We are committed to the players who lace up their skates and give the Ice Dogs their all, game in and game out. We are committed to building a championship-winning team, and we are committed to doing it right here in Niagara. The Ice Dogs are not for sale, nor have we been sold. Anything you hear is 100% false. We look forward to many more years of exciting Ice Dogs hockey right here in the Niagara region. Go Dogs, go. Sincerely, the Burks.
No sale. No soup for you. Not happening.
So, I mean, despite them losing the rumors of how much money they lose per season, I'm sure they're not the only team that loses money. Like we were talking about, the OHL, it just seems like a lot of teams are losing a lot of money.
Because the price it costs to make an AHL team and they get zero profit back. It's tough.
Yep. And you look at some of these teams with the attendance they get is laughable.
Yeah.
I could only imagine how much money they'd be losing if the Ice Dogs didn't sell out every game.
I understand
like
that how the disappointment comes from the Burks. Like, they see that, right? They obviously see how much the attendance are going nuts in this with the Ice Dogs, and like how much they sell out and all that. And then they look at the books, and then they're down still, right? That's got to be like a very disappointing thing to look at when you're running an OHL team, right? And they said, like I said before, like the Bank of Burke will run dry eventually, and I don't know if this was just a statement to stop the rumors from swirling even more than they already are, especially like with the predicament they're in right now. Maybe this is just something to calm the waters.
It seems like damage control to me.
Yeah, like I don't want to speculate and sit here and going, oh, like this is just to calm everybody down. They're actually trying to sell the team. I don't want to be that person to say that. Like, I respect the Burks, and I appreciate them for bringing an OHL team to this area, and a lot of people do, because it's such a good time to go to. And we've seen what this is like. We've seen how this has grown, as in bringing now. There's a basketball team, like a major basketball team that's here with the Niagara River Lions, and
just having that arena in St. Catharines as well for events.
Mm-hmm, so
it's a hockey crazy region,
and I know it's tough with the revenue aspect of it. So I do see where the Burks are coming from in that case, and I know it's good for them to release a statement like this. It's tough to see how they're going to continue to afford this team when they don't make any revenue off of it, and they always have to be putting in money into it.
It's tough also because I don't want to bring in, money and finances and government into it, but the Niagara region doesn't make a lot of money compared to the GTA.
Yeah,
like our if we don't make enough money, our wage is lower. Everything, we just don't have the generated revenue that the GTA has down here.
You think of like the OHL teams that are out there, like the Bulldogs and the Mississauga Steelheads. They get poor attendance, but I think they probably have the money to afford it up there to keep them going.
Yep.
Obviously, down here it's a little bit different with our region being so small, and taking on an OHL team is awesome for the city and awesome for obviously with what revenue that they make. But it sucks that the OHL charges so much to run one, and if they didn't so much rely on that, I think they could definitely make a big buck for it.
Yeah, and then they'd rather move to these American markets where they can make more on the American dollar, like in Erie, Saginaw, Flint.
So like this also, like, and this will probably be a little bit controversial. So then it makes me think, like, then why did they get caught trying to pay someone? If money is such an issue, why did they pay these players to stay?
And they really wanted to win that bad, I guess.
Like, does that do something? I wonder if they get like a big bonus because of it. Maybe if they make a Memorial Cup, they get like a giant bonus.
Well, it definitely gives you a lot more exposure. I mean, it's all on Sportsnet, the entire tournament, and the Memorial Cup is a huge thing to win.
That's probably the thing behind it. Maybe they're trying to get more revenue on top of what they make, and that's a way to do it.
Get more eyeballs on their product.
I mean, secretly, I don't blame them for doing that. I know it's behind the rules, but I guess you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Just like any college players or junior players, I think they should be compensated in a certain way because those teams are making money off of these players.
And I think there's something I got to research that I don't know, because from the comments I read on these posts about the Ice Dogs, people are just like, "Oh, I bet you the London Knights are shredding everything right now." And there's like, I'm like, does London secretly do this without getting caught? Is that what people are getting at? Because there's multiple comments of people like commenting like that.
Yeah,
about
I think they've been caught in the past as well.
I know Windsor's been caught. Yeah. I know Windsor got caught and got fined more than we did, and they had 4 first-round picks taken away. So,
well, I mean, is it a coincidence that London's always a powerhouse in the OHL?
I guess that's probably why. Maybe it's not even true. Maybe people that's what they're sour grapes about. It's like,
the Hunters do a great job.
Yeah,
but again, it just always seems like London just gets the superstar play, and they generate so much NHL. They're a factory for NHL players, really.
Yeah. In the past, they have been, especially 2 key Leaf players, Nazem Kadri, Mitch Marner, and John Tavares. I guess you can include him in there too.
Yeah, he was traded from Oshawa, but he played his last year for them.
Yeah, with Kadri.
Another stacked team. But I have another news about the Ice Dogs. The Ice Dogs are excited to announce that they are heading to Niagara South for an exhibition game on August 30th against the Barrie Colts, which will be held at the Vale Health and Wellness Center in Port Colborne.
Oh, the Vale Center. That's where I played. I just recently played a tournament there.
Yeah.
Nice ice. Very, very nice ice.
So the Ice Dogs will be playing a preseason game against the Barrie Colts in Port Colborne. So
that's cool. That arena is actually one of the rinks in that arena is called the Ted Kennedy rink, and it's got like this giant memorial of Ted Kennedy from the Leafs in it. So I mean I thought it was cool, but you know, obviously other non-Leaf fans probably.
And the Ice Dogs had a big merch sale yesterday.
Yes,
which was memorabilia sale. I went to it.
Shout out to Nino Baricus.
Yep.
Who's future? He's going to be a future guest host on this podcast. So.
Yep. But they had a lot of cool stuff. A lot of former Ice Dog players are now in the NHL. Alex Pietrangelo, Dougie Hamilton, Josh Hosang, Brendan Perlini.
Picked up a practice jersey.
Practice jersey, game worn by Pietrangelo, so that was pretty sweet.
That's dope. Possibly Stanley Cup champion.
Exactly.
Pietrangelo
and Vince Dunn. So shout-outs to the two Ice Dog boys making the Stanley Cup finals. And I'm going for them hard because they're playing the Bruins too.
I mean, I'm going for St. Louis naturally. But
even though they knocked out my Sharks, but
I'll admit there is this small part of me that wants Boston to win, shockingly, because I want to say that we lost to the Stanley Cup champions, so you know that feels a little bit better, right?
Yeah, I guess
every team says that.
I mean, the Leafs had a good chance to go into the finals. They got past Boston, but no, it was cool at the Ice Dog sale to see like the old team pictures. I know I got you the one with Perlini and Vince Dunn and
appreciate that
Hosang for your birthday. Shout outs to Kyle. It's his birthday today.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're recording this on my birthday.
But yeah, it was cool just to like reminisce of all the old Ice Dog teams. It was really cool to see all that old stuff. And the last bit of news I have is that they have received commitment from 2016 OHL priority selection Lucas Terrio.
Ooh. Yeah, they're going to be another young team this year. They did go all in with all the trades they made this past year, and they had a couple overagers who are literally the leaders of the team. But next year is going to be interesting. I'm going to be expecting guys like Elijah Roberts and other players who they just got this year who made their first year to make a bigger impact and be the veterans of the team going into next year. So
it's going to be a lot of new players next year.
Well, we ain't getting the studs, aka Studnicka is not going to be around, and I think
Jason Robertson
was I always forget his name. Sopa is not overaged. I think he might be back next year.
Maximov's gone.
I'll have to do some little bit more research, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys we've grown to love over the last couple of years. Yeah, especially Dylan, who broke out of his shell the last 2 years as making himself known as the starting goalie and someone they can turn to. So now it's up to the kids, and I don't know if Ince is over age or not. He might be back for another year, but it's going to be a new look Ice Dog next year, and maybe we'll have a good run with them. But who knows?
Yep.
I know it could be a rebuild though. It's going to be a weird rebuild because we did get rid of a lot of draft picks to go all in this year. So it's going to be a little bit of a tough road ahead, guys. So if you are an Ice Dog fan, bear with them as they go through this another change. It always happens in the OHL. It happens more often in the OHL than it would in the NHL with the changeover.
Because these players, they got to go up to the NHL, so they have to
restock
you could sign the shelves.
You can draft a guy in the OHL draft, right? He comes in, he has like an insane year as a 17-year-old, right? And then he gets drafted, and the team wants him right away, right? They could only have 1 year in the OHL. You never know, right?
That's a tough job to be a GM of an OHL team because you have to factor in the NHL thing, their age. If they're overage, they can't play another year.
Yep.
So it's tough.
If the NHL team chooses to keep them after 9 games or send them back down. So.
Yeah. So it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of work. But a little bit on Lucas Terrio. He was the 2016 12th round pick.
Oh.
He scored in 51 regular season games for the
12th round pick.
12th round pick. The Sioux Thunderbirds. He collected 40 goals and 36 assists in 51 games in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League.
I don't know. It could be a blessing in disguise here.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's what happens in the OHL. He's got to restock those shelves.
Yep. So other than that, we'll move on from the Ice Dogs to the last part of the Niagara Hockey Lowdown, and that is Team Canada. And yes, we have this great theme playing, and you're listening to this before the show, and Brandon, we were like, man, there's one part which is probably happening now, I can't hear it, where you expect James Duthie to come in and go, well, Team Canada is 3-0 in this tournament, going up against United. Like, he just starts in with his spiel, right? Here are this warm Christmas morning, Team Canada. Like, you know what I mean, James Duthie. You guys know of TSN. that's usually what he starts off with. It's weird listening to this and then not hearing his voice.
I'm just going to point out, how dust is the Dreger Cafe?
Oh, man. What? You don't like that?
Dreger Cafe is the most dust segment in the history of
What's
TSN.
wrong with the Dreger Cafe?
Dreger Cafe sucks, man.
It's good.
Dreger Cafe is so bad, and he has this awful entrance music for it.
Oh. God, they've put a lot more theatrics into it than it used to be. It used to be just a one-on-one interview, like a normal one, talking about their life and stuff. Now they've added so much theatrics behind it.
And it's always overseas, wherever the World Championships are being played, at like some dust cafe. They're just sitting outside shooting.
Yeah, the Europeans in the back are going, what's going on over there?
Dreger Cafe, man. I think the last episode was Patrick Kane and JVR.
Oh, God.
Talking about Jack Hughes and his development. But I'm just sorry. I had to throw that in there because the Dreger Cafe really grinds my gears. I don't know. Unpopular opinion, but it's pretty dust.
I used to like it. I haven't seen any recent ones, but I imagine, from what I've read, there's a lot more theatrics into it.
Oh, not good.
But Team Canada, I guess news today, like while we're a couple hours before we recorded this, we're in the quarterfinals of the IIHF World Hockey Championships, facing off against Switzerland, who actually is coming a long way in the World Championship ranks. Same with Germany. Germany is also in a quarterfinal game today, actually being played right now.
I mean, Switzerland is the most improved hockey country over the last 10 years, so
yeah.
They're forced to be reckoned with. I mean,
they took us to the limit today. Canada went to overtime after being down in the game, and Canada literally scoring with 0.4 seconds.
Damon Severson scores the goal to tie it.
And then going to overtime, and then 5 minutes in, Mark Stone scores the OT winner. Of course, Mark Stone's a story of this tournament already, with him also scoring that awesome late goal back against, I think it was Switzerland. That the last minute, or the third period goal, the controversial power play, which led to the fans booing the Canadian anthem and throwing shit on the ice, which they're so classy over there. But yeah, Team Canada winning, moving on. USA losing to Russia.
Mark Stone's been a stud, and he's got 12 points in 8 games in the prelims.
Yeah, but like the most important part is
in the round robin.
USA didn't go on with their stacked teams, shockingly. And this marks the 86th year in a row that USA in non-Olympic World Championship competition does not go on past the quarterfinal.
And it's sad because you look at Team USA's squad. I mean, they had Patrick Kane, JVR, Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes. Like, they brought a really good team with them.
Both Hughes brothers were on the team. Quentin Hughes, too.
Yeah, they brought a really good team to this tournament, and they get knocked out by Russia, who didn't. They got the bad luck of the draw there. Russia didn't lose a game throughout the round robin.
Because Russia was stacked. They had Tampa Bay's best player. They had Vasilevsky and Kucherov on the team. Vasilevsky led in like 3 goals, all prelim.
Dadanov, Malkin.
Yeah. Alexander Ovechkin. Like, they had everybody. Like, Russia is stacked. They're probably winning the whole tournament. Not to like downgrade Team Canada, but Russia's winning it all. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, they just blew every team out. Like, they went 7-0 in the round robin game. So, who does Canada move on to play? They played.
I think
they
it
played
matters.
Russia. Oh my god!
Are you sure? Is it determined now?
I mean, I'm looking at it right now.
I wasn't really paying attention earlier, but I think they said something about it determined, like the seeding. Who they are facing. It would determine on the 2:00 games today.
Oh, well. I guess
I could be wrong though. I could be wrong because right now
I'm looking at the bracket, but maybe it gets reseeded in the World Championships. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But,
if they have to play Russia, we're screwed.
The other games going on are Finland, Sweden, and the Czechs and Germany.
Yeah. As at this point, it's 1-1 for Germany and Czechs, and it's 4-3 Sweden in the second. Both are in the second.
Capo Caco has been unbelievable, by the way. This guy, he's making a case for
number one.
I mean,
guess who's laughing right now?
The Rangers.
Yeah, because they don't care who it is.
No,
because they're just sitting back. The pressure's on New Jersey right now. The Rangers are like, we'll get one or the other. We don't give a shit. The pressure's not ours.
Yeah, I mean,
they have no say in it.
Yeah, Capo Caco's breathing down Jack Hughes' neck for this pick right now, but
he's a stud. Oh my God, is he ever NHL ready?
Those 2 goals he scored against Canada.
He's a natural. This guy is generational. I'm telling you, he's
natural.
He's literally jumped off the face of the page this year. Like
Yeah.
he is sick.
And
he's got a fun name to say.
And if Finland goes on to win this tournament somehow, and USA got knocked out in the quarters,
Hughes might not be number one. And Rangers are laughing because if they got Hughes, there's a generational center for them. If they don't, they get Kaapo Kakko, who is a generational winger for Sabinajad and Kaapo Kakko together. Disgusting.
And if they sign Panarin,
Rangers, give them 2 years, they'll be back where they used to be.
yeah, I mean the Rangers are they're a really intriguing team with all the
Look
moves
at their
that they're
goalie
making.
this year, Gorgiev. He was better than Lundqvist.
Yeah,
He's come out of his shell.
and they've got Kravtsov coming in. They just got
stacked.
John Davidson for their front office, so
They're give them 2 years. Rangers will be back in the playoffs.
I think so.
But they're laughing. They're ha ha ha. And again, like I said, Kaapo Kakko, really sick name to say. Kaapo Kakko. Really sick name to say fast or slow. Kaapo Kakko.
But yeah, Kyle Turris actually been leading Team Canada quite decently.
Wow,
shockingly.
And I mean, it's weird. I blame it. I can't sit here and judge players off of international play. A, it's bigger ice. B, it doesn't translate to their NHL play. Because I want you to tell me, I don't know if you can see who the leading scorer of the tournament is.
Yeah, I can. Just give me a second here.
And I want to know, I want to see your reaction. It's going to take a big, guys. But I'm telling you right now.
It's William Nylander!
Yeah, wow. Shockingly, right?
Like you said, you hoped that he went over and had a really good tournament for Sweden.
Yeah. And he leads the tournament in scoring.
1 point ahead of Kucherov. He's plus 15.
That's why I say nothing translates over to the NHL.
Hey, Anthony Mantha leading the way for Canada this tournament.
But this is good. Maybe this is something like I always say that maybe Nylander will come back and play this good, but we can't sit here again. We can't sit here and judge international play with the NHL because it's a lot different. Maybe Nylander plays better on big ice, But I just hope next year that they play him with Matthews because I think his center needs to be Matthews. Those two click like there's no tomorrow. We saw that not this year, but the year before. Him and Matthews were like the center highlight reel for almost every overtime or sick power play goal. It was Nylander to Matthews, Nylander to Matthews.
Again, that's what happens when he misses half the season.
Yeah. So, and he probably just got into his final groove when the World Championship started. You know what I mean?
Yep. That was probably like mid-season for him.
And he plays an international play is different than a series against Boston. Let's just keep it that way. Boston's going to trash you around. International play is big ice and so much more room. And look at the players he gets to play with.
Probably different referees, too.
Yeah. But yes, Team Canada, if they're facing Russia, they're screwed. I'm sorry. That's so un-Canadian of me, but, Godspeed.
They just don't have the firepower this year.
Well, they definitely have flower power against Russia. It's that's not happening.
We don't have Fleury. But when John Tavares goes out before the tournament starts,
that was huge.
It's going to be tough if they have to play Russia. But again, I'm not sure if it gets reseeded afterwards. But because they both finished first in their group, so I don't know how I don't think they would play until the finals if they both finished first in their group. Because Canada won Group A and Russia won
That's
Group
why
B.
I think that's what I barely heard on TSN. I don't think they're scheduled to play Russia. they're probably gonna. I'm gonna say they're probably gonna face the winner of Sweden and Finland. Because I think Germany is in their group, I believe. So it's the winner of Germany and Czech Republic, and then Russia plays the winner of Sweden and Finland. Because I'm pretty sure they go by group.
It's just
because Switzerland was in their group.
Yeah, here let me pull up the standings here real quick in the preliminary round. Yeah, Canada went 6-0 or 6-0-1 in one Group A, and Russia went 7-0.
So are Czech Republic and Germany in Canada's group?
Czech is in Russia's group, along with Sweden.
Oh,
Sweden finished third. Actually,
so they do a crossover right in the quarters. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so I guess it does determine on seeds.
So Canada's probably going to play Finland or Germany.
That's interesting. We'll bring it up next episode. Hopefully they'll be...
The World Championships is so confusing.
Hopefully they'll win it all because they'll be done by Sunday, and I don't think we're going to have a next episode by Sunday. So hopefully the next episode we do this, we'll be like, yeah, Team Canada won gold.
I mean, it's going to be hard to get past Russia, man. I mean, they went
like the 1980 Miracle game.
7-0 in this tournament and USA big disappointment, but not getting past Russia. But if they had to play any other team than Russia, maybe they would have had a better shot. But Canada did pull it out against them in the last preliminary game to win the group.
You know what I'm excited for? December time when we're doing this podcast, because then we get to talk about the World Juniors and the Spangler Cup, baby. You talk about the Spangler Cup, my favorite time of the year. I fucking love the Spangler Cup. It's always a joy to see who makes the roster. It's so much fun. Come on, you gotta love the Spangler Cup. It's amazing.
It's something, all right. But yeah, so Canada with the huge win against Switzerland today. Yeah. Moving on, so we'll see what happens.
All you Spangler Cup fans out there, we're gonna have some coverage this coming December. You look forward to. Yeah.
I need the crickets.
No, I'm not playing crickets. No, I'm not playing. Not for Spangler Cup. I like playing crickets for the Boston Bruins. There you go.
How can you play crickets for them?
Because they suck. I'm sorry. I'm getting off topic here.
Anyways, we'll save that for the Under Review podcast. But I think that's going to wrap it up for the Team Canada portion.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it for this episode of the Niagara Hockey Lowdown. No, I don't have anything else, I don't believe.
No.
So, like I said before, guys, next episode we are hoping to have Nino Baricus from the Niagara Icedogs on for an interview and hopefully do some other stuff on the podcast. Maybe we'll talk some Sabres stuff with him, and he can join in with the other topics as well. So make sure you are following the Armchair GM Sports Network for that, and make sure you're following us on Twitter. All links are down in the YouTube description below. You can take us on the go on Spotify, iTunes, and Spreaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to episode number 2 of the Niagara Hockey Lowdown. I'm your host, as always, Kyle. That's my co-host, Brandon.
Dreger Cafe is dust.
And we're signing off and reminding you to always keep it on the lowdown.